The Keyholding Company is the UK's only tech-enabled mobile security company, distinguished by its investment in technology and data. They tackle data sparsity head-on with their smart security platform, a job booking, data analysis and access management platform that helps reduce spend, reduce risk and brings businesses into the 21st century. You can put questions to them directly in the live Q&A after the presentation.
Hello, I'm Charlie Gordon-Lennox, the CEO of the Keyholding Company. The Keyholding Company is the largest independent, tech-enabled mobile security services company in the UK. We've got a really clear mission, which is working together to keep our clients feeling safe and secure day and night. We specialise in alarm response, patrols, locks and unlocks, and access visits. And we do this through our fantastic network of over 200 carefully vetted service partners. What makes us unique as a business is our approach with technology and data, as we put these two first. Clients often come to us not only looking for a great service, but they're also having challenges about inadequate and unreliable data. By coming to the Keyholding Company and using our smart security platform, this is something that we can solve from day one. We work with 92% of the top facilities and security companies in the UK. And we're in the top 5% of the SIA ACS accredited companies. Last year, we were delighted to win the Digital Transformation of the Year at the Computing magazine's Digital Transformation Awards. The Keyholding Company decided to invest in tech and data early on, because originally we'd been a London-based business, and we now decided to go national. And to do that, we needed to create a network of service partners across the UK. And to control those service partners, we needed tech and data on our side. So the first piece of tech that we developed was a mobile application that we put into the field for our national network. And this was really to capture job data and information from sites so that we could then report that back to our client. So it was very much a proof of concept initially, and that was very successful. And then we went on to build the next piece of our system. Types of data points that we can collect are time on site. We can also do proof of presence, so GPS data, as well as photographic evidence, and then feed that back into our systems. We're able to give lots of insights to our clients with the use of this data. Firstly, our underlying performance. One of the key metrics for that is our response time, so they could see in real time how we were performing as a business. But also, the information was very useful for them. It enabled them to understand their root cause analysis for some of the activity that was happening on their estate. It was allowing them to look at time of day when alarms were going off, information they'd never really had before. The challenges that clients had with data before we were able to support them was that either they didn't have the data, the lack of data, and or if they were receiving data, it was analysis paralysis, and so they couldn't see the wood for the trees. Our clients are under increasing pressure to save money, but also make sure that their properties and their staff are safe. And in doing so, they can only make these decisions with the use of good, reliable data. And so the data that we have been able to supply those clients with in forms of dashboards have really transformed the way that they can do their thinking. We do that via our smart security platform, and we've got a full set of analytics within that platform that clients can look at real time, any time of the day. This is very much what differentiates us against any other competition within the marketplace and gives us that competitive edge.
We feel like we've coped really well during the pandemic. It's difficult for a lot of companies, a lot of change going on, and we're no exception to that. There's been a lot of change for us to make internally and externally. Internally, thankfully, we've been in a good place thanks to the technology that we had in place. So externally, there's been a lot of change in requirements as well. Our clients have completely needed to reinvent their security, removing the need for access services and putting on a huge number of patrols thanks to the increased risk. Unfortunately, we've been in a place where the technology has been able to flex so that we can deliver upon that quickly. In terms of patrols we were delivering before the pandemic, it was around 17,000 per month. We had a huge 82% uplift in the number of patrols to 31,000 from the first month moving forward. A huge increase and just reflective of the change in risk profile across the country. The landscape has changed significantly for security and FM clients. The need to be able to deploy flexible services is greater than ever. If you don't have the technology in place that enables you to do this, then you're going from a stop-start. Some examples of the technology you need are systems in place that can aggregate data into one central location and enable you to reduce costs for your clients and to reduce risk. The status quo for a lot of companies in the security industry at the moment is multifaceted. Firstly, collecting data from a number of different systems can be very challenging. The challenge that you can have from this are that the quality of data and the depth of the data that you are collecting might not facilitate the rest of the process. Secondly, assuming you can collect that data, centralizing it can also be difficult. Thirdly, if you are centralizing that data, how do you present it? What visualization tools are you using in order to demonstrate insight at the board level or to people who are interested in that data? Are you able to provide that in real time? Or are you having to provide that monthly via an account manager and not able therefore to provide insight on a daily or even weekly basis? Finally, what is the level of detail within that data? Are you clearly able to evidence a risk profile across your estate? Are you able to showcase incidents out of hours the next working day instead of weeks later? Are you able to follow the breadcrumb to truly show value to the rest of the organisation? In terms of the challenges that we're aware of, we have a number of recommendations that we can make. Firstly, there's often a large number of suppliers and therefore systems in play that can make the centralization of data very difficult. If you can consolidate your supplier network and therefore standardize the way that you're collecting data, it will make the rest of the process much more simple. The next step from there is leveraging the data effectively. And when I talk about leveraging the data, it's about having the data to your fingertips to view that in real time or as near to real time as you can get. So, what is the Smart Security Platform? The Smart Security Platform is a custom-built tool built from the ground up for the security industry to put data at clients' fingertips. It's for all clients' shapes and sizes, small to large, and gives them visibility across their estate. Now, let's take a look at it in action. After logging into the Smart Security Platform, the page that you're originally going to be taken to is the jobs page. The platform breaks down into kind of three sections. You've got the jobs functionality, you've got your access functionality, and then you've got the analytics, which I'll primarily focus on in part of this demo. To briefly start with the job functionality, you can book on services and you can view your services as they're processing through their life cycle. If I hop into the View Jobs page, you can immediately see here I've got a list of all the different services as they're taking place, and they're going to update in real time as they're going through their life cycle. For every job that we do, we capture several data points as part of each of those services, and they surface within the job reports that we provide on every single service that we do. And you can see here, I've got an example of a job report here, which is showing the location that we delivered that service, the information we were provided when we were passed this alarm call, and then a number of tasks that we've done when we're on site there. And all of these tasks are completely configurable as part of every service that we do, and those configuration changes can be rolled out across hundreds of sites, tens of sites, or individual sites. Every job that we do, for every task, we provide photos, which include the metadata stamps as part of those photos, as well proof of presence that we've delivered those services. So that was the jobs functionality. I'm just going to hop over now into the access management functionality. What you can see here on screen now is our Smart Access solution. What is Smart Access? Smart Access is our digital locking solution for business clients, which enables our clients to save costs on key holding and do remote access management. On screen, I can see the status of my locks that I have installed in my site. I can immediately access an audit trail for those locks, seeing my comings and goings on my site, and I can also manage my time profiles. What this is it's another really good example of additional data points that we're consolidating into the platform that can be used for risk analysis and for cost reduction. Moving on, let's take a look at the analytics functionality. Within the same Smart Security Platform, you can immediately get to your analytics suite, and you're taken to the summary page as the first page as part of the pack. This gives us an overview of what we're about to run through, but just to quickly showcase this, it's going to help us find problem areas. It acts as a way that we can review our security services and enables us to understand incidents. In the first tab, which we've named the Response Overview, you get a number of different visuals here which break down our alarm service into digestible chunks. The first visual here is showing you the number of alarm calls over the year by their volume and how our response time is being affected by that change. You've then got that binned into 10-minute increments here, so you can see how our response times vary by the time that it takes us to get to site, seeing that the majority of those are taking place in under 60 minutes. And in fact, you can see here at the top here that our average is 46 minutes. You then got those alarm calls broken down by the reasons why they've been raised. So you can see here we've got intruder, we've got fire, and you've also got the reason for the alarm activation. It's worth mentioning that everything within this analytics suite can be interrogated, so I can select any of the visuals and everything's going to drill down and then dynamically update to reflect that visual that I've selected. Hopping over to the next tab, we've got the Response Insights tab. This allows you to do a deeper dive and interrogate the data even further. So what we can see here on the left-hand side is we can see a list of the jobs. You can instantly jump to any of the jobs and access the photos like I showed you earlier, and you can see the reason for activation. In the middle, you've got a heat map that shows those alarm calls by time of day and day of the week, and that immediately allows you to understand patterns within the data and how you can take action to resolve them. So for example, if you saw that there are a high number of alarms going off at 5 to 6, which might be your regular closing time, then that suggests perhaps there's a problem as part of the closing process. Or if you're seeing it a bit later in the day, perhaps when your scheduled cleaner is due to arrive, then you know that perhaps there's issues as part of that service. On the right-hand side, similar to the last tab, we've got a breakdown of those alarm calls by the reason why that alarm is being activated and the property. And this bottom right-hand visual by the property immediately lets you understand if you've got a high number of alarm calls for a particular site, which might be costing you money that perhaps you can look to save. Carrying on, the next tab is the Instant Log. On the Instant Log page, you're able to see a list of all the jobs where something has occurred outside of the normal. So for example, this could be an access issue, it could be a system fault, or it could be a break-in. In the main visual here that you're seeing on the left-hand side, is a list of every single job that we're doing that has been declared as an incident, and all the data points that we're collecting as part of that service. You can export those data points into Excel and slice and dice them in a different way if you want to interact with the data slightly differently. On the right-hand side, we've got two visuals. We've got the reason for issue. As mentioned earlier, this enables you to instantly see which of the jobs here are related to a certain type. So for example, with my access issues. And at the bottom, you've got a list of repeat offender sites. So this is a good visual for being able to instantly understand, hey, I've got a particular site here where I've got a very large number of jobs all going off at the same place, and I want to look at that first. Moving on to the next tab, the scheduled and on-demand tabs. What these tabs show us is they show us all of the jobs that are being scheduled regularly or ones that are being booked on via the platform. Looking at the on-demand tab, you can see on this tab that we have all the different services shown over time by their service type, and again highlighting the high volume properties and the ones with incidents. This immediately again shows us where we're having a large number of jobs with a large number of incidents and the reason why they're occurring. So that was the analytics suite. Just to finish off the demo, everything that you've seen today is completely white labelable. So for example, you could put this in the colors of your end client, you could put it in your own company colors, and this is something that's very easy to do as part of the Smart Security platform. It's also worth mentioning that the Smart Security platform doesn't have to be front and center. If you've got your own systems, your own portals that you want to put in front of your clients, then we can easily integrate behind the scenes, centralizing the data into your systems so that you can provide your platform as the one-stop shop. Great. So to sum up, the benefits of the Smart Security platform are you'll have data at your fingertips, allowing you to reduce risk and focus the budget in the areas where it matters most.
The pandemic has been a difficult period for everyone, and business has had to react for the future. Having detailed, insightful, and consolidated data is an important ingredient, and importantly, it must work for you so that you can make the right business decisions for your organization. We've built the Smart Security platform with insight and data at front of mind. The idea in the future is to bring in additional data sources with alarm and CCTV. The whole idea here is that we can then join even more dots together, bring more insight to our clients, and ensure that they get the visibility on their estate that they're after. So data in the future is going to become even more important. And through our Smart Security platform, we're absolutely confident that we can realize that for our clients, so we can revolutionize the way that they look at their data in the future.
Hello and welcome back to our Tech Talks today. I'm sure many of you will be coming over here having just watched the presentation from the Keyholder Company. I'm delighted that Abby and Lucas from the Keyholder Company are here to join us. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day, Abby and Lucas. Abby, I'll come to you first of all, just for anyone who perhaps didn't have an opportunity to watch the presentation just now or tuned in halfway through. Give us that elevator pitch, that 1 minute nutshell version of what it is you do at the Keyholding Company.
Great, thanks very much. So we are the largest independent keyholding company in the UK with a relentless focus on technology. So for us, the most important thing is gathering data from across the UK and supplying that intelligence to our customers so they can make intelligent decisions about how they can keep their properties safe and secure, but also that very important bottom line, how they can make sure that they're making savings and applying their budget intelligently. And I'll just hand over to Lucas, our tech director, because the other thing we'd love to talk more about today is our new Smart Access product, which we've launched recently.
Great, thanks, Abby. For those who watched the video, you would have seen me do a tour of our Smart Security platform. So the Smart Security platform is the way that we centralize data and then present that to our clients for them to get insight and to be able to take action to improve the services that we deliver. And also, as Abby mentioned, we have a new product that we're bringing to market, which is Smart Access, which is another data point that we're looking to collect, again, to help our clients understand risk and also help to reduce cost. So while we're fielding any of the questions on the technology, how we do it, or anything that you saw in the demo today.
Thank you both very much indeed. I just want to come back to the big picture view, if you will, and the value of data here. And obviously there are lots and lots of data points in the industry and increasing amounts of technology that's able to capture those data points, to send it, to transfer it to central points, and then some analysis to be able to take place on those data points to get some value out of it. And that final thing, you know, we talk about big data and, you know, velocity, variety, all that sort of stuff, volume. What about the value? Talk to me about some of the ways in which your customers are able to get value. How does it benefit their bottom line?
Well, firstly, I think one of the really important things is that if you give people, customers data and they can't understand it and it looks incredibly interesting, but they can't gain any insight from it, then it really is useless to them. And we've been working on this over a number of years, listening to our customers and improving the way that we transform our data and the way that we visualize it for our customers. So I think the most important thing as a first step is that you ensure that the way you're presenting data is really customer friendly, and that for somebody for whom this is not necessarily their full-time job, you know, we're really obsessed with this side of things, but they may be juggling lots of different things. They need to be able to look at that data and very quickly see what it's telling them and what kind of action they can take. And so the kind of things that they can do is look at where they have greater risk and they perhaps need to enhance the services that they have in order to protect their properties better, but also where they are over applying services and actually there hasn't been an incident at that premises for some time and they really don't need to be spending that amount. And so what we're really trying to do is help them balance through the insight that we can provide. Lucas, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I would just emphasize that it's a journey that you have to go on with data. So what we tend to do is we tend to provide kind of a standard analytics suite as part of the service we deliver, but then we really encourage that engagement with our clients to build upon it. And the advantage that we can offer is the fact that because we've got a foot in the tech camp and we've also got a foot in providing the service, we think we can go on that journey with our clients to really drill down to the things that matters. So when you first look at the data, it tends to ask more questions than it answers, but then you can go and enhance and eventually get to the root cause of the things that you're actually trying to understand.
Indeed, yes. Try and work out what your questions are in order to get the best route to getting those answers, and it certainly is a journey. Thank you both very much indeed. We've got some questions coming through already. Please do keep your questions coming through on the platform for the next few minutes, and Abby and Lucas will do their best to answer them. Is the Smart Security platform that you mentioned there suitable for small businesses, or is it more effective if you have a large estate?
Yeah, so it's definitely effective for both. And actually some of the enhancements that we've got coming online this year will make us more and more relevant to small businesses as we start to work with different connected devices. We really are a partnership company, so we work with 92%, as we mentioned in the video, of the largest FM companies in the UK. But actually, we also partnership with guarding companies and electronic companies. And then what we try to do is surface that data in a sort of joined up picture, so that it's really relevant for any building, whether it's one standalone building or a whole estate of buildings where you're trying to look at a macro level of what's going on across your estate. So I think the answer is very much, it's relevant to both. But I suppose, Lucas, it might be worth talking about smart access and how that is going to be particularly relevant, I think, to some of those smaller units. We're seeing a big uptake, particularly in the post-COVID world. Flexible working, it's really helping out with that situation.
Yeah, so exactly that. So smart access, we touched on it only briefly, I think, in the video that played earlier. But smart access essentially is a new digital locking solution that we're bringing to the market. And it's nice that this question kind of came up because it's exactly targeted at kind of SMEs and businesses that can benefit from a very easy to install, very easy to manage solution. We've got lots of things in the pipeline as well. Smart access is the first of many kind of different types of hardware we're looking to introduce in this range. But absolutely, it's just one example of a solution that is very suitable for a kind of SME. On the data side, obviously you get benefits of scale. So the more data points that you're collecting, the more sites that you have, that is advantageous to be able to drill down. But trust me, just for a single building, there's plenty of data points that we're collecting that we can get value from just for one site alone.
Actually, Lucas, you've maybe touched on another question that we've had here in the queue. Are there specific locks that I need that will work with the platform, or if I've already got a smart lock system in place, can you work with that? You just shown us one of your devices there, but talk to me about existing smart lock systems.
Yeah, so what we've done is we've partnered with what we consider the best in the industry in terms of smart lock solution providers. To name a few of them, so we're working with companies like Dormakaba, Salto, and Assa Abloy. I think Assa are up next in terms of the running order. And we are looking to integrate with as many of these solutions as possible to provide kind of bespoke products for depending on your requirements. So absolutely, if you've got a smart lock solution in already, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have a discussion about it. And we're certainly keen to integrate with as many products as possible. The key thing we want to do is we want to centralize all of it into the smart security platform so that if you've got one type of lock on one door and another type of lock on another door, it's all using the same software solution to power it.
And that centralization feeds into another question that's got 4 thumbs up. If there's a question that you would have asked, but someone's got there first, then give it a thumbs up to make sure that I see it sooner. How do I better explain to clients why a centralized platform is what they need? And you mentioned there about one of the benefits of that centralization. What are the others?
So I think the benefits of the centralized data is really goes back to that first point I made, that it's about being able to see a narrative about your estate. So what we find when we take on new estates of large estates properties, we have some really very, very substantial estates that we look after, is that they may have sort of localized providers, or they may have a national provider that's not actually pulling all that data together in one platform. And what it means is that you can't really see the wood for the trees. You don't really know what is going on across your estate. You can't plan for the future. So really the biggest benefit is being able to create that narrative, talk to us. We will help you see from your data what you really ought to be looking at, the points to focus on. And then really it's where tech and service meet. So it's about marrying up technology and the service. Although we talk about our technology a lot, we have really excellent service teams, both out on the ground, but also within our sort of customer service teams who are working 24/7 to make sure that they're using the best of that technology to work, 24/7, 365, to apply that intelligence to how the service is actually running on the ground. So again, if the technology and the service aren't connected up properly, and you're not sort of getting the best of both, the one really doesn't work in our industry without the other. Lucas, do go ahead and add some more insight.
Yeah, I just add a little bit to that, which is that we all know as part of any kind of tender process or as part of kind of winning new business, that innovation is a key part of that process. And if I was to kind of explain why the smart security platform is so important for that, it's kind of a winner for everyone. So exactly as Abby says, you can surface the data through the platform to make cost savings and to actually prove and realize cost savings. There's a lot of difficulty in tender processes, right, of cost savings being really important, but then being able to kind of actually realize those over the course of the contract can be challenging. And we feel like the smart security platform does that on two fronts, because it gives you the data to actually track that and then realize that. But then also it acts as a self-service tool. So if you've got a number of different security services happening, you can use the platform to streamline that and make it a lot easier to manage those services. So it's kind of a winner for everyone because there's cost savings there on both sides of the fence.
I'm afraid, Abby, Lucas, we are out of time. There's one more question. If we've got a 20-second answer, then I'm going to squeeze it in. Obviously mobile, it's mobile plus data. You talked about your mobile app and how that can be advantageous to your customers. There's a quick question here. How easy is it? How easy access is the app for clients? Is it available on iOS, for example?
Yeah, I'll take that question. Sorry, Abby. So the short answer is yes, it's available on both platforms. We consider it very easy to use, and we've put a lot of effort into the design of it and making sure that it's very approachable. So the short answer is yes, and we'd love to hear from anyone who wants to give it a go and try it out.
Super duper. If you're on BlackBerry OS or Windows Mobile, then tough luck. Join the gang with Android and iOS. Listen, Abby, Lucas, thank you very much indeed for joining us and for fielding those questions. And for those of you watching, I hope you had an opportunity to ask all of your questions. Abby, Lucas, very, very finally, very quickly, what is the best way to find out more and to engage if anyone else does have any more questions?
Yep, please go to our website, keyholding.com. You've got all the information you need there.
Amazing. Thank you both very much indeed. Just a quick reminder before we go that we'll be hosting many more of these tech talks at Connect 2021, which takes place online from the 1st until the 30th of June. And also online events are great. I've really enjoyed them over the last 12 months or so, but I'm very much itching to get back getting back to meeting face to face, which is why we're very excited that IFSEC International and FireX International will be taking place from the 12th to the 14th of July at our old stomping ground at the Excel Centre in London. You can find out more, secure your place by visiting a webpage just like this over at IFSEC Global. And yeah, we very, very much hope to see you there. But for now, enjoy the rest of the morning with these tech talks and hope to see you shortly.